there's this agenda that's being pushed, which I'm not saying this is going to happen, and I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but the reason why I keep on bringing back the examples of these agendas that are being pushed in quick succession is because they want to create this false flag event of alien invasion. Because if people are united in fear, then they will be able to create the sort of chaos that they want to experience, and that will inevitably, obliterate the entire world, and that's what they want to happen. But here's the thing, is that that's not going to happen. I'm not saying that to cause fear. It's not the whole end of the world thing and whole Armageddon thing. That is not going to happen. That's not this timeline. This timeline, the people that are tuned into this frequency, it's important for you all to understand that you're on the ascension timeline, which means that you're on the timeline where all of this stuff gets revealed and the new earth emerges. But it doesn't mean that we won't see some of the inklings of these agendas, or in some way, shape, or form, we still might see some version of these things. Because they're going to try to counteract the positive first contact protocol that I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, which I will reiterate so that you all can understand this. Basically, the Galactic Federation, right, has initiated this first contact protocol, which starts basically by disseminating information about extraterrestrials and about the truth of what is going on to the public. And one of the ways in which they do that is they send us, people that are part of this federation, to Earth. We incarnate into the system, and we start to bring higher dimensional information about ETs, about contact, about all this stuff. So that's the first part, is the Galactic Federation literally infiltrates in a positive way this planet, which we're here. And basically, we start to disseminate this information and uplift the frequency of the planet. And that's the first stage. Now, that stage is complete. And over the next 10 years, over this next decade, it initiates the phase 2 of this first contact protocol, which is essentially isolated instances of physical contact with a variety of groups of beings. A lot of these beings are correlating to the hybrid children and to the hybrid races in which Bashar oftentimes talks about, for those that know that information. A lot of these beings look completely human, but they're just in a different frequency of consciousness. So that protocol, that positive protocol, is going to unfold over the next decade, and there's going to be the potential for there to be attempts to hijack that sort of thing. Because if you can take what's actually, the way that they see it is that if you can take what's actually happening and you can instantiate fear, then that fits with their whole alien invasion thing. So if people are seeing more and more spacecraft, which aren't necessarily military, but are actually real benevolent ET spacecraft, if people start seeing that more and more, they're going to get even more scared, and they're going to try to spin that using counterintelligence operations to be like, oh, these guys are invading. Look, watch out. And they'll use their technology to replicate an ET craft and start, blowing something up and be like, oh, look, see, they're invading. But here's the thing that you have to know. The ET craft that are interacting with us, they don't carry weapons. They don't have weapons, because that's not the vibration that they're in. They don't have war in that frequency of consciousness. They can utilize their technology for defensive protocols, which they do when the government targets them, when the military targets them. If they get too, say they're here and they're visiting our planet and they get too close, the military targets them. They can utilize their technology for defensive purposes, but they don't have weapons in these things. That's not the way that they roll. So if you start to see a spaceship with a weapon and they start to push that agenda, that's a false flag event. That's not real. So we have to become aware of these things, because as the the positive first contact protocol that's been initiated by the Galactic Federation unfolds, which it's already unfolding, as I've said, there might be some kickback to that. There might be some counterintelligence operations that will try to turn that into something else. So we have to be prepared and informed about these kinds of things. And once again, I'm not like in any way, shape, or form like proclaiming like a doomsday event or like, oh my God, they're going to do this and it's going to be this big fearful thing. I have absolutely no fear about this, and I'm not saying this to initiate any form of fear. It's just important. It's important to really get. It's important to really get like a holistic view of all these things that are happening from the ET perspective and also from the military perspective. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting me. If you are in resonance with this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content.